Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Discuss Decisive Strike and Perk Hypocrisy. Let's Discuss is meant to be a discussion and not some sort of childish outburst from my comment section. Therefore, feel free to discuss your points in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond, be it in another video or directly to you, but let's just keep it to a discussion. So no, yes this sucks, or no you're wrong, I'm unsubscribing. It's no, just put a why you disagree or why you agree. That's the point of a discussion, is to put multiple points out there so that we can all either take all the information in, agree to disagree, or something of the sort. So with that out of the way, let's begin. So let's talk Decisive Strike. What is it? Decisive Strike is a perk that gives a skill check to survivors when the killer picks them up, and the survivor, if landing that skill check, gets to get off the killer's shoulder and stun them for 3 to 5 seconds depending on the level of their perk. It's a pretty solid perk, you know, it can only be done once per game and it's pretty fair. But there are several issues for this perk existing, and just 4 of them gets pretty annoying. A lot of this conversation actually begins not with Decisive Strike, but other various perks that people complain about and the hypocrisy behind it all. But let's actually just talk about the exploit of Decisive Strike first, and then we'll get into how it's kind of hypocritical that all the survivors complain about certain perks when they also use nonsense perks. So the exploit to, I suppose, I wouldn't call it an exploit, it's in the game. There's tons of things in the game that don't necessarily ruin the game. I mean, picking up Decisive Strike is your choice, so you have that chance that the killer will ruin it for you. Therefore, I don't know why you would go the perk if you're afraid of the perk being destroyed. But either way, the exploit is the killer drops you as you're going to make the skill check. What that does is it consumes your skill check as if you used it, whether you hit it or missed it, and the killer picks you back up. The killer takes a few risks, especially if they don't have Iron Grasp, that you could still struggle off before he gets you to a hook. So there is kind of a counterplay to that, which people don't even bring up. They just get really upset to the fact that killer dropped me, I lost my perk, I'm really pissed off. And a lot of people who watched my video on the nurse where I did it to somebody, they got really pissed off, or they just got really upset or disappointed in me. Either way, I did something to counterplay something that would allow someone to get away from me. I'm already playing a killer, the nurse, who has a high difficulty level to play. Anyone who just picks up the nurse isn't going to do very good. In fact, when I play against nurses all the time, they're laughable, because when I hear it's a nurse, I just run all over the place and have fun. There have been good nurses who can take me down without effort, and it's really hard to get away from them, but that's just the select few. What about the entire community? So either way, like I said, in my nurse video, I exploited this, and people called me out for doing this. And again, I don't think it's an exploit, but I'll use your terminology, it's fine. I don't know how else to tell you other than, if I let them Decisive Strike me, and I know it's coming, why am I gonna let them Decisive Strike me to get away? I have a rule as a killer, my one killing rule. I'm going to kill you all. That's as simple as that is. I'm going to kill as many people as I can. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care how scummy things look. I don't care how long you waited on that hook, or if I was face camping you. You will die. And that is my point. That is my purpose. If you can't get that purpose, you are not afraid of me. And if you're not afraid of me as a killer, you are not afraid in the game. And that's the point of this game. It is a horror game. This isn't some competitive Call of Duty, Street Fighter game where things must be evenly balanced for everybody to get equal points. No, this is a game where, as a survivor, you should fear at all times the killer, which there's plenty to talk about on that, but more directly, you should be afraid of me. When you run Sprint Burst, Self-Heal, Adrenaline, Decisive Strike, it shouldn't be a joke to kite me through windows. If I knock you down, you know you're gonna get off my shoulder. Your friends are gonna hold that last generator. They're gonna pop your adrenaline. You're gonna adrenaline run away. Then you're gonna get your sprint burst back and you're gonna keep going. There's no fear. You don't fear it. You don't care. And then all your friends doing generators also didn't care because they knew I wasn't coming for them because you were kiting me. But that's not something salty. That's a very valid point. Everybody runs this. I very seldomly see a survivor not run Decisive Strike, Sprint Burst, or Self-Heal somewhere in their kit. Even I run Self-Heal, but I never run Sprint Burst or Decisive Strike. And it's not that I don't use Sprint Burst because, like, oh, it's so good. No. I don't use sprint burst because I just don't like the perk myself. I don't like to have that burst of speed. I like to be more stealthy, and I actually use other perks in the game to do other things, and I change my build all the time. That's what I like, is I like not focusing on the only one way to do things, because for my killers, I could do that. I can run Noed, Iron Grasp, Deer Stalker, and brutal strength, depending on the killer. But I don't do that. I do a whole lot of things as far as theory crafting my builds go, and you can see that in a couple of my videos. So to the point here, people are telling me they're going to fix it, and then you can't exploit it. And then it comes to the discussion of, really, sure, they'll fix it. Now I'm not gonna pick you up. Why would I pick you up? Why would I pick you up when 4 people on your team are gonna have Decisive Strike? There's no counterplay to the item, and yes, there's a perk that by 35% reduces that 5-second stun, but 35% of 5 seconds is still pretty rough. You probably drop a second, maybe second and a half off that. I didn't do the math, but I'm pretty confident that's pretty close to what you're gonna knock off. But even then, like, what the hell? I'm going to have to deal with picking you up, getting Decisive Strike, and chasing. Do you know what the counter move to this is going to be? Because I already have one. It's going to be Deer Stalker and Nurse's Calling. I'm going to down you, and I'm going to leave you down. You cannot Decisive Strike me, and you will die. I'll lose sacrifice points, whatever. I really don't care. You're going to die. That is me as a killer. That is what I'm trying to do. And if Decisive Strike, Self-Heal, and Sprint Burst are going to get in my way of doing that, and it's going to secure your escape, I'm gonna kill you. It's just what's gonna happen. They're gonna fix the glitch, and now the slug meta becomes a thing. And I've never heard of the slug meta up until a couple days ago, really. People ask me, what do you think about it? And I don't know. What the hell's the slug meta? I was unaware that people were killing survivors and leaving them on the ground, but I started doing this now. I realized if Decisive Strike is gonna get in my way of killing survivors, well, then I'll just let them die. Then your perk is still wasted, and they fixed it. They fixed the exploit where I can't drop you. Then what? Now you're just on the ground. Sure, your friends are gonna come, but I got Deer Stalker and Nurse's Calling. Now what are you gonna do? When they start healing you, you're at 85%. There's still some time that they have to get you up, and I'll see it. Hillbilly will chainsaw you down instantly. As a trapper, I'll trap all the locations around your friend, so it limits your escape. Wraith, well, I'm just not gonna play him. Nurse can teleport directly to you and take you out, and Michael Myers will level 3 your ass. It's just what's gonna happen. You can fix Decisive Strike and put no counterplay to someone dropping you, but then you just open up a wormhole of crap you are gonna have to deal with as a survivor. I never cared about infinite loops, your perks, or anything. In fact, I'm okay with Decisive Strike. But if you complain that I'm dropping you and that ruins your skill and they're gonna fix it, then I'm just not gonna pick you up. That's gonna happen, and I can't help you with that because I already did that. I already proved to the people on my stream, check out that VOD, it's pretty cool. I knocked everybody down. I just watched them all bleed out. I didn't want to pick any of them up because they were all prestige with Decisive Strike, and I was right. They all had Sprint Burst, Decisive Strike, Self-Heal. 2 had Adrenaline, 1 had Hope, and the other had Botany. And to be honest, I would have picked them up and I would have sacrificed them. If I knew, and I only know because they were all Prestige 3, but I knew they were all carrying the same perk, which would ultimately save all of them. If I picked up one and I get Decisive Striked, they're gonna pick up another person who's gonna run away and pick up another person, then I gotta chase it. And it becomes a snowball of just annoying and unrewarding for the killer. And that's where I stand. It's not incentivizing to the killer if you are going to Decisive Strike him, and he knows it, he knows you have it, and you're gonna ask, well, how does he know? Because you all run it. I know you do. It's like 90% chance. If I pick you up and you're not struggling, I know you have it, so I'll drop you. Because I don't want to get Decisive Strike, and I don't want to lose my kill I earned. I sometimes have to chase people for great amounts of time because they are good, and props to them, I do that to killers all the time, and they can be good. But they have to deal with my shenanigans. When they down me, oh, dude, you know, it's the best. I've actually tricked killers because I don't struggle, and they drop me, and I get off. And they let me go. It's fantastic. So, yes, they'll fix Decisive Strike. They will go ahead and take care of that, and it's not going to stop me. I deal with it every day, but really look at what it's going to do to you by the end of the day. Do you really think that dropping you and you losing one perk is going to be worth you sitting there for your whole health bar? And so this is where I'm going to just kind of put it out there to all of you to tell me. Would you rather I down you and I slug you to death, I don't, you know, I could camp. I mean, it's not really camping. You're able to move. You can be picked up. It's not a hook. It's a little different. And I can walk away. I can have deer stalker. I can track you, and I can track your friends. It's the best thing ever. I do it now, but would you rather that than me just taking the moment to drop you, risking my grasp on you, and you could still just get off, or your friends could save you off the hook? Or do you think that the exploit needs to be fixed, and then I can't drop you for that, and you want me to play with the slug meta? Because it comes down to what is fun for a killer, what is fun for a survivor. A survivor seems to me, and it's mainly children, I hate to say that, I don't mean age to be an insult, but it's mainly children that get upset when a survivor cannot escape or survive. And it kind of irks me a bit, because it's not the point that everybody on your team should escape. It is that only 2 of you on average should get out and survive. I don't know what you want to... it's balance when at least 2 people die and 2 people get away. That's balance, because the killer actually doesn't necessarily win by sacrificing just 1 or 2 people. He needs to get a lot, and with all the perks that are out there, it's really hard for a newer killer to get those killings in. Originally, I was going to talk about the other topic of hypocrisy, but I think I'll leave that for the next rant video. If these Let's Discuss videos are for you, let me know. We'll continue them, but I believe that by having a discussion about this, we as a community can come closer together and find a better, real solution other than pointing fingers and saying, you're an exploiter, you run perks, you do this. No. Developers need a true good view on everything that they do. They need a good sight on this game to balance it for us, not for a couple of people who are just really upset that they're losing Decisive Strike. So, go ahead and answer the questions. What do you think? Should we allow the exploit to stay in so we avoid slug meta, or are you for fixing it and risking the slug? Additionally, how do you feel about it? Our next topic coming up will be the hypocrisy of overpowered perks, and when you call someone out for using a perk when you yourself as a survivor also use scummy perks. I'm gonna just end this video with me saying I'm okay with Decisive Strike. I'm okay with losing my Decisive Strike when I get dropped, and I'm okay with anyone playing the way they want. It's all in the game. If it gets to the point of me dying as a survivor to a killer, that killer earned it. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. If you like this video and or, well, audio rant, please send me a like, comment, and share it with all your friends. A discussion only works when you discuss this back with me. I am excited to hear what you guys have to say. Please keep in mind all the points I made. I really don't ever like to use the I said that in the video remark. It's kind of ew. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, good game.